Hola, buenas tardes a todos nuevamente. Agradezco que estén acompañándonos el día de hoy en nuestro tercer día de trabajo. El día de hoy nos acompañan dos ponentes muy queridos por nosotros y con mucha experiencia en el tema de inglés. El tema que van a abordar ambos ponentes se denomina resiliencia ahora y en adelante. La maestra Rosalía Valero es directora de Desarrollo Estratégico América en Cambridge Assessment English, parte de la Universidad de Cambridge. Rosalía gestiona la actividad de transformación educativa en la región a través de la colaboración con ministerios de educación y diversas entidades y organizaciones educativas de todos los niveles. Las áreas de desarrollo y especialidad incluyen los procesos de enseñanza, aprendizaje y evaluación. Y nuestro segundo ponente es Jonny Frank, que lleva más de 10 años trabajando en el aprendizaje del inglés como lengua extranjera. Ha trabajado en la enseñanza, la creación de materiales didácticos, la evaluación de marketing y reconocimiento de exámenes. Ahora, como gerente senior de desarrollo de negocios para Michigan, disfruta mucho apoyar a las instituciones y organizaciones educativas con exámenes de inglés americano en México y a nivel regional. Muchas gracias, Rosalía y Jonny, por acompañarnos el día de hoy. Podemos iniciar.
Thank you very much. Muchas gracias, Vane. Un placer estar aquí con todos ustedes. Hello, Jonny.
Hello, I'm trying to properly share I can't see you when I'm on here, so you'll have to just imagine that I am co-presenting with you. So, afternoon,
I believe
everybody.
you are, so that's the important thing.
Yeah, as long as you can hear me, that's the main thing. Rosalía, always a pleasure.
Yes, partners in crime, as we say. So let's start. And today we're talking about resilience now and moving forward, because we will be talking a little bit about what has already happened, what continues to happen, and what we think may happen, right? So
we are, and it's going to be quite there's going to be a level of interaction, isn't there, today? Because we know we've got a lot of resilient people with us, connected, watching us. So we're going to canvas opinion and get their thoughts on some interesting things, I think.
And very creative colleagues. We know that from experience. So welcome, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you again. Let's start, shall we?
Let's do that. So, resilience. This is quite an interesting picture.
Exactly. What is resilience? I mean, here we're looking at what looks like a roller coaster, a very dangerous roller coaster, right? Not the sort of thing I would like to ride. Okay. But the important thing to look at here, Jonny, is the definition, right? This is a formal definition of what resilience is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I like it that it starts with words like happy, right? The ability to be happy, successful. So there's a positive feeling there. And the second part, it's not really a positive, is it, Jonny?
Well, no. So I think we're saying resilience is a positive or a productive response to a challenge, right? If we were going to summarize that. And that's quite relevant because it's been a challenging year and a half in many ways.
It has, yes, definitely.
And speaking of a year and a half, about a year ago, was it about a year ago, Rosalía?
A year or so ago, and we set homework, didn't we?
We did. So we're collecting it quite later than we would recommend you
leave.
To
don't worry, don't leave. You can stay. Even if you didn't do your homework, we'll understand. We know that you have been very busy, right?
Yep.
Okay. But there was a bit of homework we suggested, of course. We didn't tell you to do it, but we said it might be a good thing for you. So how would you like to explore this, right? And what was that homework, Jonny?
Well, the clue's in the picture. In a sense, it was about learner. Well, not learner even. It was teacher. It was journals or diaries. They could have had a focus on well-being and mindfulness, or just how things were going and how you were learning to adapt with the new challenging context that you found yourself in. So I think it was kind of informal homework, right? We expected some people to do it, or at least think about it. So this is going to be our first foray into Menti. So I'm going to do some screen dazzling right now. So if you've got
to Menti, and we'll give you
I can see us on seconds.
right?
So I'm going to share this presentation. You should see it now being shared, Rosalía.
Good. Yes.
Can you? Yeah. So on
Yes.
your, I can't see myself, but you can see me hopefully. So on a mobile phone, it would do. Just go to menti.com and use the code there. And the question is,
have you been keeping a journal? And very simple answers, right? So just go for your option. Be honest. Don't worry. I know both Jonny and I work for assessment organizations, but don't worry, right? We won't share the results with anybody. We're always super confidential. So just let us know, and let's give our. Oh, good. Thank you. Let's keep those dots coming.
how
Let's
many
see where
people are
they
with us,
go.
Rosalía? Do we have a big audience? Enough to set a limit?
26 of our 30. It's gone to 34.
No, I can see
right?
that count, but the total, how many teachers? I am looking at the same screen.
How many teachers here?
Yeah.
Thousands.
So we want
And
at
people
least a couple of hundred
also
of
answering
answers.
here. I can see your answers. I'm also looking between Jonny and me. We have technology. You have no idea, right? So I'm looking at things happening in YouTube, right? So people are saying no, but I will this year. Good for you, Steffi. I think it was. Yes, I have. Good. People in Toluca very active. I can see. Okay, right.
I'm slightly surprised here, if I'm honest. I thought that fewer people, I thought we'd have more in the central option than on the sides, but I'm very pleased to see that.
But we are getting very positive results. People saying no, but I will, right? So those are promises. You are promising, right?
Menti's, I didn't do that, by the way, Rosalia. Menti has done that for me. We've gone to a graph chart now.
Oh, somebody
which is
said about 2,500 teachers here right now. So
wow. So I think we can probably give another 20 seconds. And if you're in the comments, because we love to look at the comments afterwards, let us know the ones that have. We've had quite a lot of people say they have tried keeping a journal. What have you learned from that? Why have you continued doing it? I think it's great that you've done it, but I'm interested to know like maybe one or two things, right, Rosalia, that they might have learned.
I'm laughing because somebody's saying, "Come on, don't lie," right? So
oh,
as I said, be honest.
We've got cynics as well in the room. It's fine. But we'll
takes
stop
all
it there.
sorts.
We'll
Let's
stop
stop
it
there. And we have no, I haven't been able to, right? We know you have been very busy, right? And I think being resilient has also taken a good deal of your time. Okay, so can we just remind you that this might be a good idea?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to. I've already seen the next slide, Jonny. So you cannot go back now, right?
I'm terrible. I'm terrible. Yeah.
And I love it because we said, okay, always with new situations come new words or new terms. And some of you have heard me say, I love lexicography, everything to do with words. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So have you noticed that there are some words that people started using very frequently, like a year and a half ago, we started using COVID. It was something that we hadn't heard before. And then the first time we heard it, etc. And then talking about vaccines, so some of you may have also heard the word jab to talk about your vaccine. Have you had your COVID vaccine? Have you had your COVID jab, etc.? And there are many other things, and we thought it would be interesting for you because you are our colleagues, ELT professionals, so you're interested in the English language, to share some of these things, Jonny. And I think we're going to challenge you again with another mentee, but let's start. What can we say?
Challenge me, yeah. So one of the first word is this, and you can battle the pronunciation of this one, Rosalia.
Yes, coronasomnia. Because I thought of bringing this word here, right? So very simply, and you can go to a yes or no. This is how you can react to the first words that we're going to share, right?
So we've got 5 words and some of these were quite new to me actually, up until recently. And on Menti, we're going to spend about 30-40 seconds, and we want you to sort of unpick the words, because you'll see there might be combinations of words sort of spliced together. So I'm going to do the Menti shuffle and go back, and we're going to go to the next one. So You should be able to go back onto Menti to the next question and just end. So coronasomnia, what do you think that means? We want to hear your views. People have taken your no and yes question there, Rosalía.
Yes. And if you would like to venture a guess
as to what that means or which words we're seeing together.
Coronasomnia, is it something about wearing a crown while you're sleeping, for example? I don't know.
We've got fear in there. Maybe is always. Oh, there we go.
Oh, nice.
Menti is now. It's quite interesting as well to see we've got some numbers in there. So somebody's clearly writing in some sort of code, some codified language. But it's always interesting to see how we often think or come up with similar answers, Rosalía, because remember, Menti, what it does is it channels or it filters and makes larger the answers that are the most common. So we haven't got 200 responses on the screen here. We've maybe got a quarter of that, but it shows that people are pretty much on the same page, right?
Exactly. I think no is still the biggest one. So for most of the people, and I am also, as I said, looking at this, yes, no idea, no, right? Okay.
This call the Guinness Book of World Records. We might be on for a Mentimeter record here, world record. Lots of responses. That's great. And then there's, if we just give you 5 seconds to finish it, if you haven't already submitted yours, we'll probably share these at the end, Rosalía, as well, because we can keep them and send a copy out. It's very interesting. So we'll move to the next one, just in the purpose, due to the time that we have. There's another. This is the next one. So, well, we've got a no again.
You
must have an idea.
That was the first one, right?
Re-entry anxiety. Fear is in there again. Fear of the future. Not yet. Okay.
I think I'm going to say no to accepting anxiety because it's part of the expression, right?
An emoji. So a big shout out to the person using emoji. I like it.
Wow. Yes.
Perhaps looking nervous or slightly worried.
We have been getting some yeses here on YouTube, so that's interesting that people have heard that.
Right.
Okay.
Well, leave it.
Very good. Even a definition. Well done, Anna.
What's Anna said?
The definition. She's defined. Says about. It was actually about the first one.
Okay, but still.
She's going to the one still about not being able to sleep. So from insomnia and related to COVID, to coronavirus, comes coronasomnia. Right.
And I think this is incredible now. We'll share these so you can make them larger. We're going to the next one. This is 3 of 5. Bosses.
This is nice. Maybe you think it sounds like a brand of water, but it's not, right?
The emojis are back.
Oh!
The emoji gang.
I love our colleagues who know how to use those things, and they're not afraid to use them. Good. Actually, we don't mind when you say no, you don't know, because this is a good thing for us. And as we say, we like sharing things that maybe are new to you, and we hope they're interesting. Not quite. Somebody said the boss and the office. Not quite, but you're halfway there, right?
That's quite a good one, that, isn't it? I'm sure there's an example of that somewhere in the world. And we're going to move on in 5 seconds. Do you think, Rosalía?
I think so. So it means 1, 2, 3. Let's go to the next one.
4, 5.
I'll give you a hint. Look at.
No, hang on. This is it here. This is the next one.
What does it make you think of? Which part of the word, of the term, can you recognize?
Are there 3 words here or 2 in this one? Sounds like breakfast.
David, that's cheating. I think that's just.
Is he Googled it?
Yeah, David is letting us know that he's here, right? So,
eating fast. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Eat all day. Fastly done.
Fast, yes, you've got fast, but here fast is part of a word. And this is the one. This one doesn't really sound like English, does it, Jonny?
Well, if you say it in a certain way, it sounds German, doesn't it? Dunschfast.
Yeah. Yes, that's all the German I know. Okay,
Yeah.
so
So this is actually, Rosalía, put them out of the misery. What is it?
yes, breakfast. Karen, I think it was breakfast is there. That's part of the
Well,
of
what
the
would the
word. So
final?
yes,
It'd be dinner,
one
lunch, breakfast. Is that it?
exactly. Dinner,
Wow.
lunch, breakfast, Dunchfast.
And then I think this is the final one, cloffice.
Oh, that's so easy.
Difficult words. Oh, don't. But come on.
And we promised, Johnny and I promised we would not mention names of colleagues because we can think of examples for the different words that you're hearing here. Okay, don't get frustrated if you don't get it, but I'm sure the last part of that new word
Well, this is an
you can
interesting one.
recognize.
I didn't get this one. Some people are getting close to it. Has somebody got it spot on?
Almost, no, almost. You're
What did they say?
getting there. You're getting there. And it's yeah, I would also accept it like that, I think.
What, like what? I'm not looking at your screen, Rosalía. So
Sorry,
what?
closed
Like what?
office. Like a
Yeah.
closed office. So you can talk about your office. Not quite. And the interesting thing about, remember that modern dictionaries are corpus based, which means we get examples, real examples from what people are actually writing or saying, right?
Did anybody
And
get this? I don't think they have got it. I think
not exactly, because
give us the answer.
it's when you use a closet as your office. And
Wow.
you may laugh, but this has been common. And as I said, we're not mentioning names, but Johnny and I, clothes and office, yes. So for some people, sometimes we've seen washing machines, right, Johnny? And we've
Books,
seen
mini
different
libraries
things.
in there. Yeah.
Yeah, all sorts of different things. Okay.
Those are them there, and we're gonna. You should be seeing the PowerPoint now. I hope.
Yes, we
And
are.
so this is a longer list with actually some quite interesting ones that maybe give us some insight into resilience techniques.
Exactly.
Maybe?
So I was saying to Johnny, it's some of those words here, of course, are have a negative connotation, right? But you will see that there are things that are positive and things that you can even laugh about. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, like somebody is saying, Ines, a very small space to work. Definitely, right? That's the thing. So re-entry anxiety is when you go when we leave our house, our home, our flat, etc., and we go into the real world, right? Lockdown food. What has been happening? And again, we're not mentioning names of colleagues, but somebody who, for example, used to wear very high heels and has only been wearing flip-flops or sandals or trainers, you would call them sneakers, right? Tennis shoes, okay, and or nothing. Some people have gone barefoot.
Yeah.
Right. So
well,
it's not it.
There's
It
one
will
that
be
jumps out to
challenging.
me, Rosalía. One that jumps out, and I want you to talk us through it. This is
Okay.
why I challenge you. Eye yoga.
Of course, that
What's that
is
all
great,
about?
and I'm going to give you a demo. I'll do that for you because I
Remember,
enjoy being
your
here.
instructions have to be very clear because I can only see the
Okay,
presentation.
eye
so.
yoga is something that is recommended for people, for example, who have had a medical condition like a stroke. But for other people, people with normal health, let's say, quote unquote, it's to help you relax your eyes, right? Because we're spending an inordinate amount of time looking at screens, right? So you close your eyes. That's the easiest one, right? You go from side to side. You try not to go too quickly. You go up and down. You go all around one direction, the other direction. You rub the palms of your hands and you put them here.
Where's
right?
here? Because I can't see it.
I'm sorry, your eyes, all your eyes, your fingers or your palms once you have rubbed them, right? And they are warm. So there, that is like a relaxing time for your eyes, right? So very easy to do, and you can do it when you are in a meeting, when you work, wherever you are, you can do it. Okay, so try eye yoga.
Great idea. So this is all in the name of resilience, and you've got this quite interesting quotation from Kurt Vonnegut.
Yes, an American writer. He was really he made his name, especially writing about things with a dark humor perspective, right?
Right.
So you can. He died not too long ago. I think 2007. Right. So
Okay.
if you're into dark humor literature, this is one to explore. Right. Deep is. I mean, it's deep writing, right? And this is the thing about surprises. Usually, when there is something that causes disruption that was not expected, although sometimes now, for example, when it comes to weather changes, Jonny, we know, like for example, for hurricanes, right? Things like in Mexico City, we have the alarma sísmica. So if there's an earthquake coming from the Pacific, right, we get a minute here to try and do something, go somewhere safe, etc., etc. So it's about, yes, the thing about surprises is that we keep on having them all the time.
Yeah, and I guess that's sort of part of the theme of what we're looking at over the next 20, 30 minutes or so, isn't it? It's about being prepared to be caught unprepared, in a sense, having those coping techniques and mechanisms.
Were you a Boy Scout, Jonny?
I was for a while, yeah.
So you know the motto, right?
Uh-huh.
Be prepared.
Be prepared, yeah. So we should say now, as a disclaimer, we don't have a secret magic resilience tablet that we're going to share with you in the next slides that come up. But we're looking at
some interesting ideas.
Yeah, we have some interesting ideas now, and I think that what strikes me there is yet again from Kurt, yet again, and it's so true.
And I was telling you, because sometimes I was sharing this with our colleagues from Seproni here in Mexico City, and we were saying the thing about organizing and managing events. I know, because there was a time in my life when I was doing that, is that when you ask people for feedback, right, sometimes you get things that surprise you, right? So
yeah.
And I remember after several times organizing, managing events, I used to say, okay, nothing can surprise me anymore. I was so wrong, Jonny, because there was always different things, right? So there will always be comments, remarks, etc., that surprise me, right? So that's
what's surprising. Do you know what's surprising me right now? How intense Kurt's glare is. I feel like I need to. My coping mechanism is to move to the next slide. I feel like he's burning a hole in my soul there. So, what have we got here? We've got a whirlpool. We've got Mother Nature, and we've got two key words, I guess, Rosalía: resistance and resilience.
And I think
are they the same?
Thing here, that funny you should ask that, because the interesting thing here is to note that many people think it's exactly the same thing, just using different words, but it's not. The resistance, is, will this resist? Will this be strong enough? Usually we think, and there can be a negative outcome, or yes, resistance was enough, whatever. But resilience is, even if there were changes, even if something was affected, it's recovering from what happened, even if there were losses, right? And we're going to see these with examples from Mother Nature.
Okay, so you're saying the difference there is in those words. The first four words of each one. One's the capacity to weather, and one's to withstand, and one is the capacity to recover.
Exactly.
Right. Let's have a look then. So this is quite an imposing piece of Mother Nature.
Mighty oak.
Yep.
Right. You know how we say oak in Spanish, Jonny?
I used to, but you tell me.
It's el roble.
That's
right?
It, yeah.
Majestic trees. They can grow to be enormous. And look at it. It looks so strong, right? For me, that's the first word that comes to my mind when I think of an oak. It really is mighty. It's powerful because it's so strong. It's standing there, right? But what happens in the case of very strong wind flowing against the mighty oak? What happens in the case of, for example, a hurricane?
It could,
It's
part of it could break,
trying to
right?
resist.
Yeah, yeah.
But-
Part of it could break. It could get,
yeah,
uprooted possibly, but yeah, there might be
Yeah.
some damage.
exactly. But let's go to the next one, which have, I think, both in English and in Spanish, a lovely name, the weeping willow, right?
I do like it.
Yes. What's that one in Spanish, Johnny?
You tell me this. Is it Sauce Llorón?
Exactly. It's
Oh,
it's
good
exactly
memory.
the same the same translation. It's a literal translation, right? And
Mm-hmm.
what happens when there is a strong wind and there's a weeping willow? What's the reaction?
It's sort of moving with it, isn't it? It doesn't have those big, thick branches that are trying against all the odds to fight against something
Sways.
too
Yeah.
stronger. Yeah, it sways, it moves. Yeah,
It flows with the wind, right?
I think
It
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
it goes, yeah, it follows the flow, right? So what happens to that? Most probably it will still be there because that is the way it reacts. Yes.
Mhm.
So lovely. And this is resilience.
Okay. So it's a nice,
There is something
metaphor for
happening. There's
resilience.
a disturbance. There's a something not positive, something negative, but it's how we react. Okay. So yes, the weeping willow.
And so we've got a couple of recaps here. We're doing a bit of testing again, or a bit of revision that we think is healthy on this topic. And this is from the American Psychology Association, I think, isn't it? Rosalía, this what it is and what it isn't.
Exactly.
Resilience. Yeah.
And here we've highlighted some words which are really showing us very, very clearly what resilience is and what it isn't, right?
And it isn't something that some people are born with and some people aren't, right? We're saying it's something that you can. Apologies if you can hear dogs in the building barking, but we're saying it's something that you can basically grow or cultivate in yourself, right, as part of your personal qualities.
Exactly, right? So it has to do with adapting and adapting well. It has to do with this bouncing back. You come back, and as a result of coming back, you have learned things. You are better, right? But what isn't resilience?
Well, as I said, it's not something that's like some people have and some people don't. It's not just some personality trait or characteristic. And I like the final bullet point there, which says it isn't a fixed quantity. It isn't something that is like so, definable. I guess it's something that is personal, and it's something that's contextualized by somebody's day to day and how they can cope with things. I think of cope when I think of resilience, to be honest, Rosalia. That's the word that keeps coming to mind for me.
And this is a great thing about it. It's not that, stop using your resilience because you're going to run out of resilience. There will be nothing left. This is the thing about resilience. There's not a fixed quantity, right? You can always have resilience, and you can get very positive, powerful learners. Some people are saying that I'm not being fair to oaks. Sorry, I didn't mean to insult them, right? Yes,
we have the Oak fan club, and they are fighting back.
Yes, there are conditions. There are conditions where being strong is very good, right?
Yeah,
there are some conditions where something like the reaction of a weeping willow would be better, right? But I love nature, so
no, I like the fact people are interrogating what we're saying. It shows that they're engaged, and that's really pleasing to hear.
Exactly. So don't worry about using up your resilience. That doesn't happen. That cannot happen.
And now we're going to use up a little bit of Menti again, because we're going to test you in a nice way. So we know that
I told them we were not going to test them, Jonny.
Shh. Sorry, that was my mistake. We're going to have
Ask
a bit of a memory quiz,
Exactly.
or a guessing quiz. It depends on whether you've come across the webinar from our colleagues Alberto Costa and Pablo Toledo, and they were looking at the 7 C's of resilience. Now, we're not going to go through all the 7 C's, obviously. What we're going to do is ask you and then recap very quickly, and then move on to something that's a bit more focused on the person. These are quite abstract, but very useful for us to get started on this part of the presentation. So get your mentees open again, whether you're on a computer or on a phone, and I'm going to quickly
Going there.
switch across.
And we have a lovely comment from Ana Leticia saying, thanks for making this such a dynamic event for us, right? Well, this is the idea that there are different ways of doing things, right? So we thought we would engage because, as we said before, you're so creative. You've been great, and your creativity has no boundaries. So let's see.
So you've got, I think there's one guess each for this. So I'm hoping that's enough for us to get some, how would you put it, some consensus on. We've got the no again. No.
Don't give
For other
up.
people, control, competence, coping, connection,
sure-
contribution. These sound
Exactly. There are lots of words, in English that start with a C, right? So no doesn't start with a C. So courage, confidence, right? Great creativity. Competence, consistency, confidence.
There are so many good options here. I'm starting to doubt the final 7.
Character, controlling. Capacity. Good.
So we want about 100 or so more before we.
Coping.
Yeah, coping's a big one that I feel when I speak about this topic with you, Rosalía.
Oh, somebody, Silvia, you're really being very. Oh, she gave us about 8 different ones here. Some of you have been really trying to get. Yeah, I think probably they're all there, Jonny, and I think we're going to share them all. And this will be a sort of teaser and or invitation, because there is a great recorded webinar by our colleagues Pablo Toledo in the Buenos Aires office and Alberto Costa in Brazil, and they will be letting you know about the 7 C's in depth, right?
If you haven't already watched it, but yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Are we giving a 10-second warning here?
I think just 3.5.
Half a second. 3, 2, 1. Right.
'Cause,
So we'll go off here and see.
remember, Juan Carlos can come very quickly, and then they say, "All right, the end is near," and then go all Frank Sinatra and sing.
They throw us out. They throw us
Yeah.
out. I saw control. I saw all of these. I think connection maybe was a bit smaller, but yeah, I think we give them like a 9 out of 10 for that, right?
Totally. Yes.
Bravo.
Claps all around.
So they must have watched that video already, or just be very good at guessing, or be very up to date on the 7 C's of resilience.
Exactly.
And so, as I said, these are quite like, I guess, overarching terms or umbrella terms. And what we want to dig into in this stage of the presentation, well, not dig into, we're not back on oaks and weeping willows, but we want to consider traits and characteristics or secrets of resilient people. So we've gone from oaks to willows to people.
You never know what words you will hear when it's Jonny and Rosalía webinar.
Absolutely.
Okay, and here we'll be sharing a link, because if try and make time to watch the TED Talk itself, right? And our colleagues here, right? There's a link there, right? And it's good because it's 3 things, Jonny, and we can share those.
So sorry, I'm excited to look into them. I was waiting for you to share the link. So we've got 3 characteristics. I've got my favorite one here, but we'll go through them first, won't we?
Bad things happen. They will continue to happen. There's no way we can stop that. Okay, so that's a fact of life.
So we have to, I guess, take that on board and process it and just accept it. I guess, right? That's what Lucy is telling us here.
Exactly.
And she also says that resilient people tend to be good at focusing on things they can change and manage the things they cannot. So leave things to the side and cope with them in whichever way you can. There's nothing I can do about those. I need to get over that fact. I can't, I can't knock down that particular wall. I need to just learn to live with it and manage it. But there are things that I can change.
Exactly. Do you know, the second one reminds me of the serenity prayer, right?
Okay.
Which is something that is very powerful for people who join Alcohólicos Anonymous, right? Alcoholic Anonymous, right? And they see they every day they say, Lord, give me strength. No, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, because that's also really very important, right? To have that wisdom. So really very powerful and really very important to take into account.
That's a really good example. I like it. And we also have the, is this helping or harming me? A bit of an ordering exercise, but I guess that's important to consider as well.
And this is very powerful because it's about how you react, okay? And the way you react to something is not the way I react to something, right?
And it's how you cope and manage and change. That's what I like about this. When you shared this talk with me, I really did feel it resonated in these areas of like moving forward and evolving, and being able to cope with the wind in a positive way.
Exactly.
Speaking of which,
you said you said your favorite one of the three
was the
different
second
things.
one. I'll skip back. The second one, which I kind of rephrased there, but saying that you're good at focusing on the things that you can change, and you can manage simply the ones that you can't change. And that, we've got examples of this, haven't we?
Yeah, and remember, I've used the word heroes when I talk about people in education, because everybody who can make education go on is a hero. Really, that is the real definition of a hero in these times. Okay, so
and just to say, please share, and I'm looking forward to some of these getting told to me by Rosalía through the medium of sound. We're going to look at some examples here of that second choice, or that second characteristic, but we're going to show people that have got sort of changed things despite the disruption. Their resilient characteristic has come through, as in, I'm going to make a positive change, or make some kind of change that I'm able to have some agency over. Now, we're going to show you examples, but I'm sure that you'll have examples locally.
and maybe it could even be many of these or all of them.
It could even be. It couldn't be. I mean, it's definitely them, isn't it, Rosalía? Even if it sounds, these are quite, I guess, slightly extravagant examples, and they got into the newspapers or onto social media. But even there are things that you'll have changed, I think, and I'm sure you agree, Rosalía, as teachers, to be able to cope with the wavy and the choppy waters that we've been going through.
Can I just say, Jonny, our colleagues here are so nice. I mean, they're sending us so many positive messages, and really love you. Okay. So Juan Antonio, he couldn't be teaching. He couldn't go to his school, but there in Veracruz, he took his car and he shared Wi-Fi. He shared connectivity, right? He knew there were lots of students, people who didn't have access to Wi-Fi. So that's what he did. He did what he could do to bring positive change to many of those people who didn't have that opportunity, right? So
he took his combi and he called it the combi teca, which I quite like.
You're a hero, Juan Antonio, definitely.
And then we've got Carolina from Ecuador. What's going on here then? Is she like she's off on a bike to visit students?
Exactly, right? They cannot go to school, but the educator, the teacher, will reach the students. You see, she's wearing her face mask, etc. Education continues. Education goes on. Amazing.
Are we getting any Mexico examples from
oh yeah,
the teachers we've got?
Definitely. We're Mexicans, Jonny. Of course, you will get.
No, but I mean, what I want is some in the chat. Some examples of very specific, because not everybody is going to, or has had to, or will have rode their bike somewhere, but they might have other examples that are maybe more day to day, or things that they've managed to change, or even things they've managed to.
People have been sharing positive ideas and possibly sharing positive thoughts with learners, which is really very important. So in a variety of ways. Okay,
that's good. We've got another example here, which is, I believe, free internet in Oaxaca.
Yeah, this was not an education. This was a hotel. Remember, there was a time, quédate en casa, nobody could go out, etc. So people were not traveling. People could not go to hotels. So hotels had to keep on paying their staff. they still had to pay for electricity, all the different services that they have. So they decided to make the most of it by sharing what they had with people. And again, we have talked many times about the digital divide, the idea that unfortunately in our country, many other countries, right? Latin America, other African countries, for example,
Southeast Asia, yeah.
internet connectivity, etc., doesn't reach everyone, right? So for them, they could go there, right? Even sharing their telly, right? Because we had the La Escuela en Casa, whatever, etc., so they could do things. And this was great, right? So this was this hotel and doing that. And another hero in Mexico, right? This was Ivan. Has anybody heard about Ivan, or has anybody? This is in Tijuana, so I wonder if people, if some of his neighbors there in Tijuana have heard of Ivan. He has been repairing broken laptops and computers and different things. I mean, he's good at that, and he has made it possible for students to get not a repurpose, repaired,
Refurbished. Yeah.
refurbished piece of equipment so that they can have access to different things, right? So he's been encouraging people. People in Tijuana have heard from him, and they have been sending him equipment, and in some cases I think not even broken, but so that they can share, because he's a teacher himself, right?
Okay.
So he wants all students to have the best possible possibilities for success.
Excellent.
Okay, so well done, Ivan.
And if you've got examples in the chat, please share them, and we can give them a bit of airtime, as we
Yes,
might say.
Roxana, lots of heroes. Oh, look at Lalito. Lalito is in Guerrero. Anybody who knows about Lalito, or anybody who has seen Lalito, or maybe he's a colleague, etc. And I love it that he's Profe Lalito. Okay, such a great thing. And I said the first time I saw this, Jonny, I said to you when you asked me what exactly is that, I said I think it's like a carro de paletas, right? The sort of thing where you can get your ice lollies, etc., ice creams from, etc. Yes, heroes without a uniform for a hero, right? And he said yes, he uses puppets. Good.
Yeah, I like that.
Somebody's
commented on that, have they?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, they have some people called Margarita Gonzalez is being mentioned, right? In Tijuana also. Very good.
Okay, interesting.
And lovely, we love you, all of you, right? Jonny, I wish you will see later, but all these different things. Yes, we can say repair, we can say fix, we can say refurbish, Miguel. It's a wonderful thing about language. It's a huge amount of words. So lots of different possibilities. So well done, Lalito. You're a hero. I don't like that visual, Jonny.
Why not?
It looks it's about disruption. It certainly looks disrupted.
It's broken, right? This is what happens
when
things,
better days.
systems break or fall apart, or I'm not keen on it. I have to say, not my favorite.
So why did we include it here?
I think we're demonstrating that, the impact that disruption can have. And what else am I thinking? I guess the jigsaw pieces represent exactly that, pieces. Yeah. So they're pieces of a whole. And I get the feeling you're going to go Oriental on me now, and you're gonna bring some wisdom from the East. Am I right?
I believe in mindfulness. I think mindfulness is a great thing. So yes, shall we go perhaps to Japan? Because I would like to talk. I think some of you might have heard me talk about kintsugi. And this is a Japanese art. And it's when something breaks, right? You don't give up on it, right? You, especially if it's something good, if it's something that has value, sentimental value, for example, which is really very important. There's not money associated with these, but a really important sentimental value. Then you repair it, but you repair it in such a way that you add, in a way, value to it, because
Okay.
in many cases Japanese people use gold or silver. You can see in this case they used gold, right? Yes, it doesn't look exactly the same as it looked when it was new, Jonny. Is that important? No, it
No,
survived.
it evolved. It changed, right?
Exactly.
It changed, but
Exactly.
it kept some of its essence, but it's added to its existence. I like this. I really like this metaphor. I think when you said at the beginning, if you have something that's good, valuable, when you say that to me, I think learning, teaching, just
Yeah. When you go, and this is not really a spoiler, when you have a chance to see that TED talk, you're going to see that Lucy talks about resilience in the context of when she had a big terrible thing happening in her life, and everybody who's a parent here, be a mother or a father, can understand this. She lost her child, right? So you can imagine that that is a terrible loss, right? Because it goes against the laws of nature. Our children should never go before us, right? In fact, that is something I've said to Cricket sometimes. Cricket is my son, right? You are not allowed to die before me, ever. No permission. It's a big, big no, right? And look at Kintsugi and Octavio. I wish I could learn. My son is actually learning Japanese. I cannot make out what you wrote, but I hope it's something very nice. I'm sure it's something very positive, right? So this is Kintsugi. Okay, so you can think about, even if something happened to your soul. Oh, Jonny, I know you love this picture. Tell us
it
about it.
reminds me of Inception. But yeah.
Totally.
So I guess from the theme, exactly what you're saying about that, learning to, I guess, roll with the punches, as they may say, rather than the exact moves you're going to face. We're looking at personal and professional life changes, and the fact they're going to keep changing. Like Kurt told us at the beginning, that life it keeps throwing surprises our way, and we do know life's been changing, and it's been tumultuous, and we see this with the glass. I always think of a glass as being half full, as we see here, sort of inclining a reba. There's always a bit of light ahead of us, and there's always hope. You must like that picture as well, Rosalía, not just me.
I like it because it's different. So it's good to go with the flow for some things, but I'm also a rebel at heart. So because it makes you think, it makes you look at things, and it brings all sorts of questions and ideas. And I think I can almost hear Juan Carlos.
Oh dear.
Is
he knocking on the door? No.
So yeah, about to, I think so.
Okay, well, we've got a few minutes, and we need to roll. I think we've got 7 minutes, Rosalía, if I'm not mistaken. Have we not got 7 minutes?
We got Enrique here saying,
sorry to interrupt. Hi, how are you?
Fine.
Good. Are we over time?
No, we are fine on time. We're just at that stage of the talk where we have to do the Q&A. So
okay,
that's what I'm here for.
Almost there. Promise.
Almost there. Yeah, we're only going to have like a couple of questions, and I will really, and I'm sure all of our teachers will really appreciate your insight on these questions. So let's get to it, if that's okay with you.
That's perfectly okay. And I'm sure Jonny will be taking us to a Menti. So let's
are we starting the questions now, or are we? I'm not. Have we got time for a few more slides, or is it time for questions now?
I think we can have like a few more slides, I guess, and then we can go back to the questions.
Okay, perfect. Right, Rosalía.
Slides only. Yes.
Right, we have to be very disciplined now.
So
back to Menti.
Back to Menti, and this time the question was, remember the cat?
How are you feeling?
He was asking, how are you feeling? Just one word. You cannot say no. You cannot say yes. Just one word. Good. Great. Amazed. Excited. Optimistic. Good. Resilient. Well,
I like
done.
Saying that.
Confused.
Oh dear.
I hope that's not a result of this session. Right? I would like to think it's not. You're feeling great. You're feeling
motivated,
good.
Like that.
Happy. I'm going now to YouTube. Great, great, happy, relaxed, excellent, strong. Okay, that's also good. Happy.
I think a few seconds, and we're going to bring this off so we can.
A second and a half. Motivated. Good.
3, 2, anxious as well. It's yeah.
But let's look at last year, Jonny, because I think it's going to be interesting to see. I know you like the cat, but let's go on.
These were some of the answers to that similar question that we asked teachers last year. So it's interesting to do a compare and contrast. Adapting. So adapting didn't come up if people were feeling more prepared and ready and positive, which is great. Panic didn't come up either. Unhappy, I don't think came up too much, if
I think
at all.
we got more negatives last year and this year.
I think we did. I think that's the general takeaway, and we will buzz on. I think we're on borrowed time, Rosalía. So I think
okay. I was saying Juan Carlos, and all the time it was Enrique.
I know he was there waiting
ready.
to pounce.
So let's go. So why are we saying this about going hybrid? Perhaps, Jonny, because
it's not all about technology, but training and opportunity, and we're going to look a little bit now at the problems that can cause. It might give us too much choice. Might it, Rosalía?
That might not be a good thing. It's good to have choices, but this is when we think of that expression, there is something like too much of a good thing. And the problem is, and you're going to see, how do you feel about that number of doors, right? You don't even know where to start. Do you start with the one on top, with the one of the ones in the middle, with the one on the bottom, etc.? Too many choices. Don't give me so many choices. People are saying when we talk about, for example, technology and the things you can do, even with your WhatsApp, etc. So don't try and go everywhere. Don't try and listen to everything. Don't go and start using all the different apps that people recommend. It's not possible. There's only so much we can do. There's only so much we can explore, etc. Right? So careful with the paradox of choice, because it is true and it can happen. It can be frustrating.
And so I think this is where we're going to wrap things up, I believe, Rosalía, because we'll probably share a couple of extra slides that will have some activities and some key considerations left. Yeah, but preparing to return, well, what do we know? Thinking about the door metaphor that Rosalía just explained beautifully. We know it's a time for change, but we also know we need to consider certain things, and those are these, right?
Exactly. And I think, Enrique, you can come after we go over the 3 things that we would like people to consider. As we said before, it's okay not to be okay. Totally fair. It can happen.
And if you're in teams or leading teams of teachers, then that's something you need to consider as well, to have spaces and forums where they can approach you in full kind of confidence or confidence and be able to talk things through and maybe put in certain supporting mechanisms to help them.
And let's focus on the basics, because you already know so many wonderful things, right? And as we say, oldies but goodies, right? If they have worked before, try them again. Maybe you'll see that they still work, even if it's a different context, etc. And never forget, we use the word heroes, not because it's we like, well, Jonny not so much, but I like things like Avengers and the Marvel universe and things like that, right? But this is you have been doing amazing things, okay? And we just want to say again, don't we, Jonny, that we really learn a lot from you. It's been great to see much participation and so much contribution from you this time. We are really very happy, and we feel absolutely incredible when they said, would you like to participate again? We say, but of course, right? You only have to say when, what time. We'll be there, because it's great. Your ideas show us so many wonderful things, options, etc. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And yeah, like I said, I think we can hand over to Enrique now. Sorry,
no, I'm sorry to interrupt. Thank you very, very much. I'm sure all of our teachers are enjoying this, and also you guys are very loved amongst the teachers community. So thank you for being here. And I'm only going to ask one quick question. And the question was sent to us, and it says, How can I talk to a group of third graders about resilience?
Jenny, would you like to tackle that one, or are you giving it to me? Start. You
I'll
start.
start. I think the stories and images are quite good. So I was, and although I'm not a third grader, on some days I might be, and Rosalía has some really nice examples that we showed in the presentation of how nature can show resilience and resistance, and I think that's a really good way of engaging rather than going with meta language, but going with actual real world examples. There might be storybooks that you're using at school or that you're aware of, or just a story you could tell and extract from them what the moral of the story is. And they might not say resilience, it might be a word that then it emerges from how you're explaining it to them. But it doesn't matter that they don't know resilient or resilience. It's what's behind that word that's the
Exactly.
important thing.
And can I say, for example, Enrique, one of the very easy things to do is to simply ask, how are you feeling today? Because let's face it, we all like it when people ask that question, because we say, oh, he cares, she cares, right? And even if it's just one word, etc., about people trying to notice more, like when you see, especially if you know a learner that used to sort of open his or her mouth very frequently before, now that person has gone quiet. I think we've reached a stage in Mexico, in most of the world, right, where we have stories about somebody that has been affected by COVID in our family, right, in our neighborhood, one of our colleagues, etc. So there are sad stories. It's okay, especially for our colleagues who work with kindergarten learners and primary, right? You know that children, they always show their feelings, right? So
Yeah.
maybe one of the first things they would like to do when they start seeing their compañeritos again, right, their classmates, is say, oh, I'm sorry, but this happened, and I'm feeling very sad because such and so is not no longer. Let them express their feelings, right? I think this is the time when we say we care, right?
Yeah.
We are educators. Of course, we care about our learners.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you very much, Rosalia. Thank you very much, Johnny. Now I'm going to ask Vane and Juan Carlos to come and join us if they want to. Maybe they don't want to, and that's okay.
Oh, they do.
They do. They're okay already.
Juan Carlos, we cannot hear you because
Juan
you're
Carlos, we
mute.
cannot hear you. Your mic is off.
I'm sorry. I was muted. It was a pleasure to have you here and with this amazing topic. We learned a lot. Muchas gracias por todo lo que pues por todo lo que nos pasaron en estos momentos. Fue muy fructífero para las maestras y los maestros. Y bueno, me gustaría que Vane se despidiera de ustedes antes de enviarles mis anuncios.
Muchas gracias, estimada Rosalía, estimado Jonny. La verdad es que agradezco su participación y experiencia con este tema. Sin duda alguna, estamos viendo en el chat que nuestros participantes, nuestra audiencia está muy contentas y contentos. Agradezco nuevamente su participación y colaboración con el Programa Nacional de Inglés. Gracias.
Un placer estar con ustedes, y a todos ustedes los invitamos. Nos vemos la semana que entra, espero.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be with you guys today. Really appreciate it.
Keep safe.
Thank you. No olviden las maestras, maestros, asesores y asesoras que están en estas participaciones, que aquí les dejamos la liga para que puedan hacer su registro para esta participación. Y les dejo a Vane para despedir esta participación. Saludos.
Gracias, Juan Carlos. Bueno, pues vamos a hacer un pequeño break de 10 minutos aproximadamente y nos vemos en unos minutos en esta misma liga para nuestro siguiente tema. Gracias. Hola de nuevo. Bueno, siguiendo con nuestra agenda, tenemos a otra ponente del Consejo Británico. Ella va a impartir el webinar Diseña, clases efectivas a la distancia. La licenciada Ana Gutiérrez es coordinadora académica y digital con más de 13 años de experiencia. Ella se ha desarrollado tanto en el sector público como en el privado y ha publicado y editado material académico para programas de gran impacto en México. Cursó la licenciatura en Administración y en la enseñanza del idioma inglés. Obtuvo diplomado en lenguaje y es maestra certificada Pro-for-Dems con la Universidad Autónoma de Guadalajara. Actualmente está cursando la maestría en la enseñanza del idioma inglés y desempeñando el rol de coordinadora digital en el área del sistema educativo del Consejo Británico México. Bienvenida, Laura.
Muchísimas gracias. Muchas gracias por la presentación, Vanessa. Thank you so much.
De nada. Adelante.
Well, thanks everybody for joining this session. It's a pleasure for me to be here with you. I have to say something before I start, is that I've been a Prony teacher. So I feel like if I were returning to home right now. So I worked for Prony for about 5 years, 10 years ago. So it's like being at home again. So I really love being here. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And let me share my screen. And let's start, right? Let's get the ball rolling, as we say. Okay. So this workshop is going to be for learning tools and techniques for remote teaching. The name is Design Effective Online Classes. So we are going to know how to work online, how to work remotely. We know that nowadays this is a must. We need to know how to work online. So this is something that we have to do, we have to know. But before starting, let me ask you something. What do you expect to learn in this workshop, in this course? It is pretty important for me to know, what are you here? What is your motivation? What motivates you to be here? Let me tell you something. The most important factor for success is motivation. More than the ability to learn a new language, more than everything, motivation guides you to succeed. It is not possible to think about learning without motivation, according to Gardner in 1985. And I agree with him, right? This is something that we need to think always. What motivates us? What brought you here? And also, this is a question that we have to use with our children, our students. Every time that we give a lesson, it's pretty important to know what is motivating them, even if it is intrinsic, extrinsic, but what motivates them to be here, to learn a new language, to be in the school, to go every day, to join a lesson. We need to know what is motivating them. So to start with, I like to present a tool, a digital tool. This whole course is going to be full of digital tools, full of learning about technology. So the first one that we are going to explore is Linoid. I don't know if you have worked with it or if you know it, but if not, we are going to know it. Linoid, if you didn't get the link, maybe you're gonna be seeing it and be watching it. Let me see. Yeah. Well, Linoid is it's a tool. It's a digital classroom board. With this classroom board, what I want you to do is I want you to get to the link that you have in front of you. Please get to this link because I'm going to explain you what is Linoid. This is a pretty important, a pretty nice way to interact with your students. It is a way also to have their feedback, to have their comments, to share content, to share everything that you want to do. You can do it through Linoid. Let me go to the, oh my God. Sure, you're working on it. As you can see, Linoid is a digital tool. You already are using it. Great. So let me see what you have already answered to me. to learn different forms to teach effectively, strategies to apply in my online classes to motivate the children. Excelentes estrategias, gracias. Thank you, great. Well, yes, this is Linoid, as you can see. And it doesn't require any login, a special login with an account. You just give the link and get your students here, ask them a question, share content, share a video, share an image, anything you want to share. You can get them here to work with Linoid in just one click, right? So this is a tool that I recommend you a lot. Thank you for your answer. It's pretty good to know what you are expecting from the course, because I want to know if I'm going to fulfill at the end of the course, and I really hope so. So let's start working on digital tools. What is online learning face-to-face, and also what is face-to-face, sorry, and what is online learning? What are the differences? What are the similarities? How can we work both of them? And this is a workshop to do that, to know it, right? So let me go back to the presentation. Thank you so much for your contribution. And let me tell you about the aims of this workshop. The first one is provide digital tools to use technology in face-to-face and or remote teaching lessons. Let's remember that most of the digital tools that we share online, most of them can be also shared face-to-face. How? We can work them. Remember that we're going to have hybrid classes. Maybe we still don't know. We are now working online, but if it happens, we need to find a way to work them as well in the classroom, face-to-face, or in online classes. You can do it, right? Develop digital skills to enhance the use of technology for English lessons. And what are going to be the contents for you to stay here and have a lot of fun and have a lot of learning? Well, the first one is opportunities and challenges of remote teaching. Online tutoring, we want to talk about what is online tutoring and what is not online tutoring, differences between online and face-to-face tutoring as well, pros and cons of online teaching, how to make an effective session. This is why we are here, how to make an effective session online. Remote teaching guidelines. What do I need to know in order to be prepared for my lesson if I want to give a remote teaching lesson? And how to keep your students' attention. Oh my God, how difficult it is when we are just in front of a camera. We don't have the kids around us. We just have a camera through the way to them. So it's not easy, right? It's not easy to deliver a lesson through a device, through something that is not at your hand. Technology, you can never know what is going to happen with technology, but we need to be prepared for it, right? So first question, it's a Mentimeter or a Menti activity. I know that you already did it because I saw you working with Rosalía, which is pretty good. But Menti is also a digital tool that I am recommending you to use. It's pretty good. We're going to see all the digital tools that I'm going to work with. I'm going to show you a little bit about them. I cannot go deeper in the use of them. But I'm going to recommend you to have the time to go, to check them, to explore them, to use them, because those are pretty good strategies for you to start tackling what you have to achieve during your lesson. Try it. So my first question is, how do you feel about teaching remotely? How do you feel about using technology in class? What is the first thought that comes to your mind? So for now, you're going to enter to Menti. The code is 61446212, or the QR code that you have in front of you. So just please go check it. And in the meantime, I'm gonna see if I have an answer for you, or I'm going to, wow, let me go back to Lino. Thank you, great. How amazing is this? You are sharing images as well. Great, excellent. I love you like the tools that I'm sharing with you. I love you use them. Please use them. Remember that I've been a teacher by my own, so I know what you need. And I can see that you are here answering my question. Thank you so much. How do you feel about the use of technology in class? excited, stressed, great. Remember that the biggest words that we have in the word cloud are the ones that are more repeated, right? So I can see that excited, great, confident, stress are the ones that are most repeated, so the ones that are more common. And I like to see that. I see motivated, I love it, comfortable, nervous. I think that those answers are different from 1 year ago, right? 1 year ago, we may think that, oh my God, what are we going to do? Just from the day to night, we have to switch to remotely lessons. So what are we going to do? Now it's different because we have had a whole year to work with technology. Now I know that it has to be different. So that's why we are here. We are here to feel more confident about using technology. We are here to love, to see which strategies can we use in order to work with technology during my lesson, but also don't lose the what is most important in your lesson, which is the pedagogic aim of your lesson, right? But with the use of technology. So let's continue. Thank you for your contribution. I love that you are working with that. Excellent, great. Let me just touch something before I continue with this, and is how you can use Mentimeter. Remember that for using Mentimeter, you have to enter to using a Menti. You need to enter to the website www.mentimeter.com. Okay. Every time that you enter to Mentimeter, you're logging with an account. Once you log in with your account, what you are going to have is an opportunity to create a presentation for yourself, right? Just clicking new presentation, decide the name of your presentation. We're gonna name this presentation like X presentation. And once you enter to the presentation, just name it Sir B, Sir A, or the group that you have to, or the social practice that you want to develop as well, or the achievement that you want to fulfill, whatever you want to name it, whatever you want to work during the lesson. But once you get here, you have to decide which activity you're going to use. Obviously, you need to be focused on your achievements. And also, if it is going to be a product developed, if it is going to be the social practice, or which activity or which information you want to get from it. If it is an evaluation instrument, which one is. So you have to select the type. You have multiple choice, word cloud, open-ended questions, scales, ranking, QA, Q&A. And you have more of them if you see. I cannot go deeper in all of them because we don't have time for this. But please try it. I really recommend you to use it. And it is possible. It is possible to work it. Remember, you just have to share. You can share by WhatsApp. But through the parents' WhatsApp, you can share the link, you can share the code, and you can have your students answer, right? And you can start having this interaction with them by using technology, what is important. Okay, so let's go back to the presentation. And now that we know how we feel about the use of technology, let me tell you something. In the midst of every crisis lies a great opportunity, as you see. And I can see that you are very clear what is your opportunity because of the answers that you gave in Mentimeter. I know that your opportunity is there and you are taking it, which is much important. And let me tell you that it doesn't surprise me because I know Prony teachers. We are great. We are the best, honestly. And not because I was a Prony and I love to be a Prony teacher, but I know how is the heart that we give in every single activity that we deliver to our students, that we implement, and that's why you are here, in fact. So this is the opportunity you have. We need to work through technology, so let's get the ball rolling. Let's start doing, and let's explore your beliefs as well, okay? What are your beliefs about the use of technology? What are your opportunities and what are your challenges, right? And to start working with this, I told you that this was going to be a complete class full of digital tools. So don't expect something else because you're going to learn about the use of different digital tools. This is a workshop full of learning about the use of digital tools. So the third one, in fact, digital tool that we're going to learn is WooClap. I don't know if you have worked with that, but if not, you are going to start working. WooClap is pretty good. WooClap is similar to Mentimeter. But Mentimeter is very intuitive. This is not as intuitive as Mentimeter, but it's pretty good. It has a different kind of activities. Please also try to use it, because you're gonna find some different kind of strategies that you can implement through this digital tool, right? WooClap. How you enter to it? Well, in this case, I'm gonna use it for a poll. Okay, you can use it for service, you can use it for matching activities we're going to see right now. What are the kind of activities that you can implement through it? But also there are other digital tools that help you to survey, to test, etc., to make tests, to make evaluation, to make assessment to your students. You have forms as well. You have Google Forms, and you have a Slack. The ones that are below here, you can see them. Those are the pretty good ones. Please try every time that you have time. Go there, surf the way, check them, explore them, because you can find a lot of strategies in each of the digital tools that I am sharing with you, okay? So in this one, what we are going to do, you're going to enter to www.wooclap.com/Brony, and you are going to answer this question, the first one. We have most teaching skills are transferable from face-to-face to remote teaching. Let me see. This is WooClap, and I can see now the answers. Okay, I see most teaching skills are transferable from face-to-face to remote teaching. The 64% says agree. 12% disagree. This is the ones that we have to work in, right? And I'm not sure, 24%. Okay, let me tell you something. Yes, most teaching skills are transferable from face-to-face to remote teaching. We just need to find the correct path, the correct way, the correct strategy. But most of them are transferable. Everything that you do in a single class, you can do it also. There are some of them that is difficult, right? That you can never have like the same amount of strategies in the online teaching. No, but the ones that are necessary for you to get to the goal, to get to the aim, to have the kids communicate through English, you have them here. So use them. Now we see the 68%. Excellent. Great. So let's go to the next one. The next one says, it is harder to teach remotely than teach face-to-face. So let's start answering. Is it really harder to teach remotely than teach face-to-face? What do you think? Let's start answering this one. Let me tell you something. It could be harder. It could be something different, but it is something possible as well. So try it. I know it is sometimes difficult for us to decide if we are going to start working in online, if we are going to be able to do it, if our knowledge is going to be the one that we need to do it. That's why you are here. So just give it a try and go for it, right? Let me go back. I'm going to show you a little bit about what you can do with WooClap. As I told you, it's just like Mentimeter. The kind of questions also you need to create your event. You need to name it. The problem here is that you have less slides that you can use in Mentimeter. There are not the same amount of slides that a Menti has, but you have more options here. You have multiple choice, open questions, you have matching, you have find a number, prioritization, brainstorming. Whenever you're going to give a class, let's brainstorm and see what is going to be the topic about, what do they think about a topic, etc., etc. Fill in the blanks. If you want to know if they are understanding what you are teaching, what you are having them learning. So just give it a try and do this, right? I really recommend you to work on it, practice it. Okay, let's go back to our presentation. And the following topic, what is online tutoring? Let's go into the topic, what is online tutoring? What does it refers to? What an online education or e-learning is and what it isn't. Okay, I have two scenarios. And we're going to decide if it is or if it is not. Please put in the chat your answers, right? We have the scenario one. An educational institution decides to put a course in education and management online. They put a number of text files online. Participants pay a fee per module, download the documents, read them, and think about it. Tell me if this is online tutoring. What would you say? What does the chat says? Let me try to see a little bit your answers. What do you think? Is it online tutoring or not? Right? It says, again. An educational institution decides to put a course in educational management online. They put a number of test files online. Participants pay a fee per module, download the documents, read them. And is it online learning or no? Okay, let me tell you, this is not online learning. This is an online bookshop. And the same happens with our lessons. I'm going to tell you in a minute. Second scenario. An educational institution decides to provide courses for learning English. They put a number of self-study exercises in a CD room. Participants pay a fee, open the CD room, do a few drag and drop or gap fill exercise. And what is it? Is it online learning? What do you think? Please remember, put in the chat. What do you think? Again, an educational institution decides to provide courses for learning English. They put a number of self-study exercises in a CD room. Participants pay a fee, open the CD room, do a free drag. Is it online tutoring and online learning? In our opinion, it's not as well. It is a self-study grammar book in digital format. And the same happens with your lessons, with our lessons teachers, colleagues. Because if we are in front of a class, we have to give online tutoring. We have to give an online lesson. I just turn on my computer, I select if it is Zoom, if it is Teams, if it is Meet, if it is Webroom. I select my best platform to deliver my lesson, even WhatsApp, okay? I just turn it on, I just turn my camera, and I start delivering my lesson, just making the same activities, saying the same comments as the students are answering to me. Is that online tutoring? No, this is not. Just to turn on your camera and be in front of a computer or of a device. It's not online tutoring. What you need to do is you need to make use of the strategies, of the techniques that you have in front of you, which are as well the achievements that I want to fulfill. If I'm using technology to achieve them or not, am I really getting to them? Are my students really practicing through technology? Not because they are just in front of a camera. Are they really practicing? Am I using strategies, digital strategies and digital tools? Okay. So let's go to the following one. What is then online tutoring? Online tutoring is RLY. The first one is recreate. You need to recreate between the bricks and mortar classroom to the virtual one. Okay, so you need to set your classroom, the entire atmosphere of your classroom needs to be online. Then we have to leverage the differences. The face-to-face learning environment doesn't have the same opportunities than the online learning. So take advantage of these differences. You have everything at your hand, everything. Every single tool is giving you a better opportunity to do something with just a click. Are you using it? Work harder. I know. It's like thinking, oh my God, I have all those things to do, the administrative stuff, the attendance list, the evaluations, lesson plans, and am I going to work harder, really? Well, let me tell you something. It's not really work harder like doing a lot of things, but doing things that are going to represent something for you different, right? To emulate the social atmosphere and group dynamic. Characteristics of the face-to-face course. Yes, you have to make more group dynamics. Yes. You have to put and set more activities so the students need to be engaged, just like now. I have to do a lot of activities, a lot of things that I am doing, a lot of strategies that I am putting in practice so you can be engaged in the session. So this is the thing when you deliver the lesson. Yes, but this is more knowledge for you. This is more practice for you. And there is a rewarding about it. So that is what you're going to get. And that is the most that you're going to get from it. Online tutoring is for pastoral, technical, pedagogical, and yes, very hard work. Now, let's look at it. What is it? This is a classroom background. So I don't need to be there, right? But I'm going to create my atmosphere. I'm going to create my classroom background. I can get it. I just with a click, I can get it from the internet. I just can set it. I can put it like if my students were, wow, look at my teacher's classroom. This is a place where I would like to learn, right? So this is something that you have to think about, okay? Just with a single click, look for the images created. We're going to see a little more about it. Don't worry. And what about if I want them to participate? They are not participating. They are just those kind of students that are behind the screen with their camera off and not saying anything because they don't want to, right? Well, there are strategies to do that. Which one? Let's go with this one, the first one, the will decide. What if I have them? I have them all. Just click on will decide. Put the names of your students, click on it, and okay, you don't want to participate or no, it's the turn to participate because all of you want to participate. Don't worry now. It's Alejandro's turn. Go, Alejandro. This is your time to participate. Now tell me this and that, right? And you are using different strategies. Sure, you can use some other strategies, just like have these sticks with their names and just show them. Those are different strategies that you can do face-to-face, but yes, if you have an online opportunity to have this tool, go ahead and use it. If you just look or Google for wheels of names or for wheels of pickup names in the internet, you're going to get a lot of strategies for this kind of activity, right? Okay, so let's continue with this. And also, if you see here, I have here a small picture, this one that is with the fingers. Let's see what it is. And you can also select this strategy for your lessons and tell the students, okay, if you don't want to turn on the camera, or what about if at the end of the session, we give this feedback to the teacher, right? One finger raise is, I don't get it, I need help. 2 fingers, I get some of it. I might need help. Oh, if I have 3 fingers, I get it. I can do it by myself. But if I have 4, I got it. I can, and I can teach it. You are teaching cognitive strategies with this single activity, with this single implementation of activity at the end of your session or at the end of any activity, and you are starting to use technology to get to the final aim of your lesson, right? Okay. Now, let's go to the following. How is it different to face-to-face teaching? Is it really different? Okay, we say yes. There were some of the questions that we missed. In fact, let me go back. Sorry, but with bootcamp, I forgot to mention this. Thanks God that I just remember this. Okay, those are beliefs about opportunities and challenges. Let's go for more, right? We have seen that most of you seen that most of the teaching skills are transferable from face-to-face to remote teaching. The second one, it is harder to teach remotely than teach face-to-face. Not really. Not really if we practice, if we know it, if we know how to do it, we surf the web, if we participate in this kind of workshops. Number 3, is it possible for remote teachers to develop a strong rapport with their learners? Yes, it is possible because there are strategies to do. We're going to look at some of them. So you can create a lot of rapport, more than if we were sometimes face-to-face. Because it depends on the strategies that you're going to use, right? Number 4, learning online suits all types of learners. Yes, it does it. We just need to look for the opportunities, for the correct ways to do it. Is it possible to give learners more personalized attention online than face-to-face? Yes, it is possible with the tool that I'm going to give you. Learners' previous experiences affect their perceptions about online learning. As always, every previous experience affects. If it is a bad experience, it affects everything, right? In every single activity in life, it happens. It happens as well in online. It is our job to make them feel comfortable in our lessons, to recreate it, to have the best out of it, right? And really, remember, every time as you look at them, as you see yourself, as the confident you are, is the same that you're going to get from them. So everything what you are transmitting, you're going to get it back. Be careful about it. Now, the next one. Learners' level and type of motivation are the most significant factors in predicting online learning success. Yes, as always, you need to keep them motivated. Always, because as I told you in the beginning of the session, if you don't find that motivation, if you don't have them motivated, it's barely impossible that you're going to succeed. So you need to go through motivation so you can succeed in your lessons, right? Managing groups dynamics is the most important role of a remote teacher. Yes, that's why you need to keep looking at strategies. That's why you need to implement them, because you need group dynamics so they can be engaged in your session. It is more difficult than face-to-face, but it is possible. Learners need additional skills like time management to succeed online. Not necessarily, but that is your job, because at the same time that you are teaching English, as you see, you are teaching now also digital skills. We're going to have a talk tomorrow about which are the skills that you as a teacher need to have, and which are the skills that you as a teacher need to develop in your learners. At the end of the session, I want to tell you a little more about it. Don't miss it. Please participate in it, because it's going to be very interesting. We're going to go deeper in this topic in this workshop that is going to be for tomorrow. Okay, one of the biggest challenges of being a remote teacher is keeping the students active and interested. It is a big challenge, I know, but as always, as you say, it is possible. Online learning can leave the students feeling isolated. It depends on you. It can happen, but it depends on you. At the end, we're going to go and see why. Remote teachers can provide appropriate feedback to learners, including personalized feedback on the progress. Yes, right? We can give appropriate and provide appropriate feedback to learners. It is important, in fact, to do it, right? It's not like in face-to-face classroom or lessons that we just call fulanito ven and I give you the feedback. No. We have to do it differently. But remember that also in your platforms, if it is Zoom, if it is Teams, you have breakout rooms and you have different kind of strategies to give feedback, right? You can send them to breakout rooms. You can give feedback during the breakout room, during the activity, or maybe written, or maybe by video, or maybe whichever is the way that you wanted to give it. But it is possible, right? Okay, so let's go back where we stay. And here, how is it different? How is it different now that we have explored the beliefs and opportunities of online. Now, let's talk about how is it different to face-to-face teaching. And let me tell you something. I know that there is a lack of real people on the course. I know it's different, that I can touch you, that I can feel you, but this is a reality. Just like you saw in the previous workshop, this is a reality, and we have to be resilient. We have to know that there's a lot of possibility that this keep going like this way. And if we may return to hybrid classes, and we have the possibility to keep the way, right? So there's a lot of possibilities. So we really don't know which is going to happen in the future, but there are other sources, there are other strategies that we can use in order to address this in a creativity way. Feelings of alienation and isolation on the part of the participants, yes, unless it is addressed creativity. And we know we are English teachers, more than English teachers, let me tell you, we are prani teachers, right? And we prani teachers, we are so creative. We can do a lot of things, and you know it. So we have to do it, right? We have to find a way, and it is there. Just look for it, and that's why you are here. Much more time is needed in online courses, is what is often called the socialization. Yes, we need to socialize more than if we were face-to-face. Make group dynamics, make activities where they can socialize. Give more time to socialization than if they were in a face-to-face lesson. They need more time to socialize in an online. Please keep that in mind. Number 3, negotiate the rules of engagement. What are the rules of engagement? The first one, and let me tell you, this is the most important one. Just Google it, the KISS rules. It's pretty important. You're going to find a lot of information, pretty important information about it. Keep it simple and straightforward. That was for a different word, but now this is straightforward. Keep it simple and straightforward. Whenever you talk about the use of technology, you need to keep it simple. If you're going to use 1, 2, 3 digital tools, just use 1, 2, 3 digital tools. Don't fill your lessons. Don't set your lessons full of digital strategies. Don't use a lot of digital strategies. Now you see that in this workshop, I'm using a lot because I want to have the most out of it for you, right? But don't do it for your lessons. Okay? Just select the ones that you know the best, because it's going to be straightforward, just the most simple. Select the ones that you know the best and use them for your students. Once you know them, you pretty well know them, and you know that they are the ones that fulfill your necessities. Okay, so go for more. Look for more. Go young, but not before. Okay, you select the ones that you need. If Linoid is adjusting to your needs, okay, go for it. Go with Linoid. Or if Mentimeter, no, I don't like Mentimeter because it's not going to be easy to use Mentimeter in my lessons. Okay, do not worry, then don't use it. But try to use similar one. Look for it. Look for a similar one. I want to show you more. That they're going to be good for you. They're going to fulfill your needs, and you're going to get the information you want to get from it, right? But remember, keep it simple and straightforward. Make it attention worthy, okay? That your students are engaged, interested on it. But always think about what are the aims of your lessons, and don't lose that focus, that spot of your mind, okay? Because this is pretty important that you always have in mind what is your final achievement of your lesson, of your single lesson, and go through it. It's just like when we teach English. We, as prani teachers, we use social practices. We teach social practices. We use English as a vehicle to get to a social practice for communication, because the English for prani is communicative, right? The purpose is communicative. And we use the English just as a vehicle. But at the end, they're going to be able to perform an action, to do something, okay? Yes, but the same happens with technology. We use technology only as a vehicle. They're going to learn how to use it. They're going to learn the skills, and they're going to be able to apply those skills. But at the end, they're going to get to the last social practice achievement that I want them to do, the action that I want them to perform. That is your final point, okay? Make your course actionable and easy to implement, just as I told you. Easy things are the best things, right? Fast, quick, and responsive. And test, and always test. Never think that is enough. With technology, one's never knows, right? And always is learning. Every single day is about learning. So test every single day, test what you are doing, what you're giving, what you are learning, what you are sharing with your students, right? And test before, correct, right? And test after, see what is what you get. Okay, now the following one. Now let's see what is your opinion about these pros and cons of online teaching. Okay, now you have in front of you another link. This is for Jamboard. You have the QR code as well. Remember, QRs are an excellent way to share information and a way that is stays to be here for the eternity. So use it. If you haven't, use it. Use QR codes. Okay. Now let's try Jamboard. I don't know if you have. I know you have, because Jamboard is a pretty easy tool to use. It's a free tool. As all the tools that I have taught in this lesson during this workshop, and that I will teach. All of them are free. Obviously, some of them, if you pay an extra, you're gonna get the pro account. But all of them have something and pretty good elements to use in the free account. Okay. Now let's talk about this and let's see what are the pros and cons of online teaching. I know that in the meantime that I am just teaching you this, you already start working with this. I want to know what are the pros and cons, and I want to teach you how to use Jamboard for this. And I'm seeing and I'm watching that I have a lot of activities here. As you can see, look, you have, as always, we have this happens with the students as well, right? But okay, just take a post-it, tell me a pro. Take a post-it and tell me a cons. But think about it. But really think about it. What are the pros and cons of online teaching? Think about it. Is it something that is possible to do it? But what am I going to win? What are my students going to win? We have talked about it. We have said a lot of things. And now, what do you think? This is what I want to get from this activity now. What do you think? What are the final thoughts that you have about the use of the technology and the online teaching? I have here, it says interactive to use audio, video, and other tools, yes. But because it is slower to interact one-to-one. One-to-one you cannot, but remember you have this possibility to use a breakout room during a session to interact more one-to-one. It's kind of different, yes, but there are a lot of strategies, just like this one. In this one, believe it or not, we are interacting one-to-one as well, because you are giving me your information and I'm reading what you want to tell me, right? So there always are possibilities. In the meantime, that you continue thinking, because I know that you are thinking, that you want to know what the responses are, and I can see that I'm getting. Let me tell you something. If you click on the first one, you're gonna get this one, and I'm gonna make a change here, right? Because I'm seeing that you're pasting in the first one. Click on the second one. When you enter to Jamboard, click on this part of the screen, and you're gonna have access to the rest of the slides, right? So click on the second one and start collaborating in the second one. Let me go back. Sorry, but I'm going to erase the first one just because we are going to start working on this one, right? I see that you are changing from slide to slide. This is the same that happens to your students. You can have a lot of activities by Jamboard. Jamboard is a pretty good way to interact with your students. And you can see, using digital tools and multimedia, electric bills, share interesting materials. Yes, there is a pretty good interest in materials. We can use different tools. The students don't get bored. Not all the students have the tools. I know they don't have the tools, but they have access. If they have access to internet through their parents' cell phone, they can do it. I mean, there's no necessity for them to have a cell phone by their own. But if you can just send the link and ask the students to get the link to their parents if they have this access. If not, don't worry. There's going to be always there's going to be another possibility to do it, right? And remember, if we return to classes, the classes that we're going to return, if it is hybrid, we're going to have this possibility to use also the technology in the classroom, right? So we're just going to transfer those activities to face-to-face, right? Take into account students' interests such as Among Us. Okay, excellent, great. So you are now participating. As you see, this is Jamboard. So if you wanna interact with Jamboard, what you have to do is just enter to Jamboard, jamboard.google.com. You're gonna get as well the link through the screen. You're gonna get it there. And if you think that you may not create a good way to use it, don't worry, because there are always templates that you can use. This one is a template that I am using. This other one is a template that I can find in internet. How? Just look for templates of Jamboards, and I'm gonna show you a pretty good web page, so you can find templates as well of Jamboards, and you can use them in your lessons and send the link to your students and work the activity, work the Bloom's taxonomy board that you want to work with them, right? So make them create, make them generate, make them evaluate, make them think, remember, and make them process the cognitive strategies that we need to foster in them, right? Like this one, the ones that I am showing. What makes you say that? I used to think, now I think. So those are cognitive strategies. This is a cognitive process that my students need to go through in order to learn at the end. Everything is learning. So we need to know what is it and how to get there. So if you see, I have a lot of like this one is scratches and guess, globes and grows, pure morning. This one is pretty good for kindergartens. If you are a teacher kindergarten as well, you can use it. You can use Jamboard here. What do? You just click on Jamboard, look for the template, go and get it. There are templates already done. And if you don't find them, don't worry, because you can use them. Use your creativity. Just what you have to do in Jamboard, of course, is if you select here an image, you look for the image that you want to download, either from the website or from your computer. And what you're going to do is you're going to get the image, and you're going to create, okay? You can make diagrams, you can make any activity, you can have feedback, you can have any kind of activity you want to get. You can use it with Jamboard, right? And you select here, and you continue, right? Okay, I close it, but this is Jamboard. Try using it. It's a pretty good tool. It's free, and the most important, Jamboard, if you're working with Google Classroom, you can connect it with Google Classroom, the Jamboard, and you can just upload your activity and make your students do the activity in Google Classroom. Remember, both of them are free. So it's a pretty good opportunity, right? Let's go to the following one. And this is the page that I told you I wanted to share with you, okay? I know that some of you don't have access to internet, or some of the students don't have access to internet to use those apps. But remember that there is always a way to look for this low context situations that we have, right? And that is not possible for us to work with it, but it is possible for us to share the material with them in a way or in another. So try use it. Think about your creativity. Think about your imagination. How would you do that? And share it with them, right? I remember once I was in a course, because in the British Council, we implement so many courses. If you are interested in one, just get close to your authorities and ask for it. But I remember once we gave a course, and one teacher told us the same thing. I cannot have access to the internet. My students, they don't have access to the internet. They don't even have a cell phone. How am I going to use it? It's not easy. I know it's not easy, but that teacher in particular shows a keyboard made of cardboard, and how this worked, and what were the activities during the keyboard. So this is the same you can do. You can do it. Okay, you can touch them. You can go through it. You can set an activity how to use technology without having it, right? And remember, maybe we are going to return to hybrid classes and the internet is on your school. So there's in another way you're going to have access to it, right? In one or another way. Okay, this is also a web page that I want to share with you. As I told you, yes, the apps all the apps that I am showing you, they are free apps. If you have a question, all the apps are free. As I told you, if you pay a little more, you can get the pro account, but you don't need it. You really don't need it. Everything that I am showing to you, I did it with my free account. So is it possible? It is possible for you to do it, right? This is a website that I want to share with you, Infuse Classroom. You can get courses, you can join a different teaching community, you can have access to books, you can have also activities for your school. But remember that also the British Council has their own web pages. We want to share them with you also in the chat. But the British Council has their own web pages where you can have access to all the activities, all the strategies that we can share with you for teens, for young learners, preschool kids, or even high school, right? So just look for it. The information is there. It is there. We just need to go forward and look for it and find more of it to implement it in my lesson, right? Okay, now let's go to the following one. What are the pros? You told me what are the pros and what are the cons. Now let's talk about it. Let's talk about what are the pros and what are the cons. The pros. Can work from any location equipped with an internet connection at any time during the day or night, okay? You have the access to it. You just need to work it. Means adding another string to your bow. As a teacher, this is pretty important because we are always looking for courses, things that we have to implement to raise all the certifications that we may have. There are so many courses given us by the British Council that we're gonna, at the end, we wanna share with you some mocks that we have. There's massive open online courses that we have. They are completely free. Please check them. We're in a future slide that I'm gonna share with you. We're gonna talk a little more about the strategies that you need to do in order to have access to it, right? For any teacher, learning new skills and developing oneself professionally is usually a hugely rewarding experience, right? So those are learning new skills. Those are new skills. And this is the opportunity you have in front of your eyes. This is at the beginning I told you, I said it was in the midst of every crisis, it's a great opportunity, right? So this is your opportunity. Go for it. What are the cons? One of the cons is the amount of time that online tutoring takes up, not only in providing constant learner support and feedback, but in designing new materials for online delivery if you do not already have this ready. I know it is necessary to design new materials. I know it takes more time, but also imagine that this is the opportunity that you have in front of you. So it is a con, but it's also a pro that you can make new material, visual material that is going to be attractive, that is going to get more attention to your students, because remember that our students are in the digital age. So this is the time that they know more than us talking about technology. So what we need to do is we need to equilibrate this. We need to put this in the same path, and you need to go forward, okay? Step forward then and teach them to learn through technology, right? Another negative is that institutions who implement e-learning often see it as a cheap alternative to face-to-face teaching, and it is not. They underestimate the amount of hours that an online tutor will need to put to run a successful online course. Yes, it is the cons. It takes more time, and it has to be valued as a course that is not easy to implement, because you're gonna have to find out a different way, different strategy to implement. But this is something that is going to keep and stay there for you, right? It's just like when we were at the beginning of our careers and the first day of teaching in your classroom. I don't know if you remember the first day when you were teaching. You didn't have anything. You just start creating the material, creating the strategies, watching how this was growing up with the use of the strategies and how your students were learning. So this is the same here. Now you are in front of huge opportunity to use technology. Go for it. It's not going to be easy at the beginning. It's not going to be something that is there and you just use it. But it's easier than it was before, right? Just try it. Those are pros and cons. Now let's talk about what is an effective session. How an effective session can occur during my session, right? I know that sometimes we say, I don't like technology. Honestly, I rather not using it because my computer doesn't work. I don't have the internet connectivity necessary to do it, and I don't have money to get internet, and I don't have anything, right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to, what do we need in order to deliver an effective online session? First, you need to verify your connectivity. This is something we need to have, right? We need, as teachers, we need to have connectivity if we want to deliver a session online. There is always a second possibility. There is always the plan B. And my plan B could be as well to share by my cell phone. By my cell phone, I can connect to it. I can give my lessons through the cell phone. I have a lot of opportunities. I can use my other device to do it if I don't. Or if I have a computer, I can use it. I just want you to know that there is always a plan B that you can have as a backup whenever you are talking about technology, right? So how about the connectivity? These are questions that you need to think about. Do you have a broadband speed internet connection? Do you know if you have it? How am I going to know if my internet connection is enough? How am I going to know if I can work on Teams, or if I can work on Zoom, or if I can work on Webroom, or if I can work on Skype? How am I going to know this? Okay, so this is a tool that I'm going to share with you, and the name is speedtest.net. Speedtest.net. This is a website that if you click on it, and I'm going to do it right now, I'm going to open a new, and I'm going to say speed.net. If you click on it, and if you run it, you're going to see which is the broadband that you have, right? With this, what you're going to find out is which internet connectivity you have. So in case that you are just about to have a session or maybe a conference or maybe something that you want to just share by internet, well, it's important that if you have any problem, you know your equipment, you know your device, you know your computer. So go to speedtest.net, check how much you have, and check if you can run your computer in a proper way so your students can have get the lesson. Okay, correct. If you have problems, most of the time it's because there is a problem with the connectivity around you. So call your supplier, your connectivity, so your internet supplier, and check it with them, right? The recommended is that in the download or the descarga, you have like 10 points. And in the carga, it's always going to be the 10% of those 10 points, right? This is the best. Now you see I have a lot because I knew that I was going to give this conference. But if you want to give a simple lesson by Teams or by Zoom, Teams and Zoom work similar in the broadband. There's a little difference because Teams is more like a learning management system, and Zoom doesn't require that much. But if you have 10 points of download and 2 points on upload, it's going to be good for you to work on your session, right? So once we know this, let's go to the following. Also, if you have LAN cable, you should have LAN cable. It's generally more reliable than Wi-Fi for hosting online lessons. So connect yourself directly to the LAN cable. Okay, this is a pretty good way to have your lessons. Ensure your workstation is organized, so your internet modem router are close to it. When hosting an online session, be careful about it as well. What is the computer equipment that you need to have? Ensure you have a working computer with the required software installed in order to teach your classes, right? You may need headphones with an inbuilt microphone to host online lessons as well, just like the ones that I have. You will also need a working webcam, even built into your computer attached to it. It is pretty important that we as teachers, and we're going to see it in a minute, that we have this connection with our learners, with our students. But what requires to be a good remote teacher? Now we see that you need to know your equipment, that you need to be prepared with the microphone, with the headphones, to know that your connectivity, to know the software that you're going to work. Remember the KISS rule. If you use a platform that is friendly platform, it will be better for you to use it. If you know it, and if you don't, try to explore it, okay? So to be a good remote teacher, number one, learn something new each day. This is pretty important. Organize your time to learn online. British Council has a pretty good courses, free online courses. I just told you that I was going to give you more information at the end of the session that you can learn for free. Okay, so try to learn every single day of your life, trying to learn something new. If it is online, pretty good, because this is something you're going to use it. Never lose the opportunity to learn something new. Perfection is through practice. Always, perfection is through practice. So if we practice, we're going to get the most out of it, right? Number two, find your motivation. Sorry for my dog. Well, it's not my dog, sorry, it's my neighbor's dog. But I hope you don't mind. Yeah, I know this is some problems of the technology that we have, right? But I'm really sorry about that. It's not mine. I just want you to know that. It happens with the internet. So something that we cannot have in our hands, right? Okay. Find your motivation. This is important, as I told you at the beginning of the session. What is your motivation? What motivates you and what motivates your students? What are your objectives? Do you have them? Do you know your objectives? Do you know the achievements of your each sessions of the each session that you have? Do you know them? Do you keep a record of them? Do you keep a record if you fulfill them? If not, this is the time for you to do it, right? Monitor your session. Keep a record of your session. Video record your session so you can have and you can see what are you doing, how you are transmitting the knowledge, what is the response that you are having, etc., etc. And one pretty good tool to video record, to record the session, or to use also to upload content for your teacher is a Screencastify, the tool that I'm going to share with you right now, the one that is below this, in the bottom of the slide. And I want to share with you, this is a Screencastify. If you see, I have a lot of recordings here. So whenever I want to record something, I just add the extension to my Google Chrome. I click on it. And what I do is I say record, and I'm going to start recording what I am doing. I say which window am I want to record or which activity I want to record. And I can record myself giving a feedback, uploading some content, explaining a PowerPoint presentation, explaining something on the web that I want my students to say, and be the creator of your own content. That is pretty important, right? Okay, I'm gonna cancel this. If I click here on entire screen, I'm gonna start recording. It's pretty simple. You just record, and you can share it. You can send it through WhatsApp to your students, to your parents, WhatsApp or cell phone or whatever the platform or the tool or the app you are using with them. You can share it with them, right? Remember, a Screencastify. Okay, so now let's go to the following one. And it says, read and read. Everything is about reading. Never stop reading. Never stop learning. And don't ever say that you know too much. We never know too much, right? So we always need to know more and more and more. And technology is always changing. It's always bringing more interesting, interactive apps. Go for it. Go look for them. And in the month that we're going to share with you, we're going to share how to get to those apps that are the most common, the most useful for teachers. How can I get to that information? I'm going to share with you that information, and at the end, I'm going to tell you how. Be brave. If you fail, try it again. Mistakes are part of learning. So try new apps, right? Never say that it is enough, and try using technology. It is important that you know that that you are going to have always this is a small chance to fail. It doesn't matter. Try to do it again. It's as everything in life. We need to keep going. We need to keep trying on everything we do in life. Use technology. This is for you. This is your opportunity. This is the age that we are living, the time we are living. So why not give it a try? Why not try doing it, right? And go for it. Okay. How to keep learners' attention. And this is important because it's not easy. I want you to think about how you keep learners' attention, and tell me in the chat, please. If you have a session, an online session, think about it, how you keep your learners' attention. Share it with me, write it in the chat. I want to see your comments because I want to see what you are saying. What do you think about it? How to keep learners' attention? What do you do about it? What are the strategies you use in order to do? Think about it. I'm going to give you a minute, okay? Try to do it, and I'm going to read your comments. Okay, just 1 minute to do it. Thank you for your contribution. It's pretty nice to see them. You see, being dynamic, interactive games, audio with short videos, using music, using songs, games and fun activities, TPR. We're going to talk about it, TPR. So it's pretty important. Puppets, games, different activities. My voice, the tone of voice is pretty important. This is the whole content that we're going to discuss in a minute. Excellent. Thank you so much. Singing, planning your class, be creative. Videos, music, games. Gamification is so important. And we're going to see a digital tool for gamification that I know you're going to love it. Using videos, games, puppets, doing rundowns. Excellent. Okay, we're going to talk about it now. Let me show you how to keep learners' attention, okay? Number 1, avoid being just a talking head. Don't talk. Okay, use strategies, use different strategies. Send them to write in the chat, just like I just did. Send them to write through an app, send them to write through the WhatsApp, create a group in a Slack, interact with them in a different way, in a Jamboard. But boy, being just a talking head, the only one that is talking, right? Ask them to talk. Whenever there is an opportunity, ask them to create the lesson, to start participating in the lesson and contributing to it. Their contributions form the class, in fact, right? The use of voice. Never use the same tone of voice, okay? If you need to speak louder, do it. If you need to down a little bit, okay, just do it, right? But try to use different kinds. Use body language. If you see during the whole workshop, I'm trying to use a lot of body language. Why? Because we speak through our body. And those are TPR activities as well. Imagine that a lesson that is always the same. But imagine if in some moment I'm teaching adjectives to my students, right? Okay, this class, we're going to learn about adjectives. I'm gonna read a paragraph. Whenever I read a paragraph, I want you to stand up. Sorry, whenever I read an adjective, I want you to stand up. Those are TPR activities, and they're not gonna be just sit and listening to you, because I'm gonna be reading, making a reading activity, having their reaction to an adjective, which is the objective of the lesson, and I'm gonna be using, and this whole is gonna be through the use of technology, right? Remember the fingers that I told you, 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers. If I can teach the lesson at the end, show me your fingers. Can you teach the lesson? Did you understand what we learned today? Do it, right? It is pretty nice, and it's pretty nice and interactive way to do it, right? Okay. How to keep learners' attention. Now let's talk about the use of the camera. If I am giving a class and I have a camera that is not inbuilt camera, that is an outside camera, and if I'm always looking at the camera here, but I have you here, you're not gonna have eye contact and screen presence with your students, right? So what you need to do is to have this eye contact and screen presence, right? It's pretty important for you and for your students to watch you, to see what you are doing, to see your eyes, to see your body gestures, right? And you need to minimize distractions. As much as you can, you need to minimize distractions, right? Please, if you minimize distractions, that means that at the back, you're going to have everything is going to be empty, right? That means that students are not going to be like watching what is behind you, what is in the back of the camera or back at you, right? So minimize any distraction that you may have. Use filters. This is pretty important. Use filters. Okay. Another way to keep learners' attention is be familiar with the technology you use. Always know it. It is pretty necessary to know what you are using, the platform that you are using, basic troubleshooting. If you have a problem, which is your plan B? Always have a plan B. What if my internet stops? What if the energy goes? Or what if everything can happen, just like now with my neighbors start barking, right? So dealing with the unexpected always is something that you need to keep in mind. What am I going to do? How am I going to deal with the unexpected, right? Okay, now, activation time. Tell me, how do you know activation time? I want you to share in there as well in the chat, please. Tell me what is activation time for you? How do you activate your teachers or your students? How do you activate them? Write in the chat. I want to see your comments. And let me read them, right? I'm going to give you a minute as well. Thank you. Okay. I asked them to sing and dance a song, a warm-up, icebreakers. Those are pretty nice icebreakers. As soon as I step, I don't know, dancing. As soon as I step out of my house, I become the teacher. Okay. With games, songs. Okay, singing. Excellent, great. Well, I'm going to show you a pretty nice tool to activate your students in a lesson. Let me show this to you. The name is Bukaru. Okay. Sorry, the name is Bamboozle. I have it here. Bamboozle. Okay, this is Bamboozle. Bamboozle.com. Bamboozle is a pretty excellent, amazing, interesting tool for games. You can share content through here also. You can gamificate your lessons through Bamboozle, right? Just get to it. This is also a free account, as always. If you want to pay for a pro account, you can do it, but you can have this the minimum of the privileges with a free account. You can work in your classes, right? So you don't need to pay for more. What if I want to make the object hunt? Let's work on it, right? Let's look for object hunt. Okay. Let's click on any of them. You teach the vocabulary to your students. What do they need to know? Which is the vocabulary? Or if you have already, or you can create your game if it is a specific vocabulary. And let's play it, right? And now let's say that we're going to play it. You can form teams. We're going to form 2 teams here. You can form up to 4 teams. If you pay for it, you're going to get more. Okay? You can have 8, 16, or 24 opportunities to play. But in this case, we're going to have 8, the minimum of it. Okay? Now, let's say 6 teams. Now, you can have options. Different themes now, but let's go and play it, right? Once you click, let's go to the classic and you say, okay, team number 1, you can name the team if you want. right? You can name them, you can set the name, whichever name you want. In this case, I'm gonna just say that number team said, number 15, teacher. You can also practice the numbers here, right? Can you find a cushion in your house? The first one bring me a cushion, so you go get a cushion. And they get, okay, yes, you got it, great, okay. Team number 1 got 15 points. Team number 2, 7. Can you find another? Yes, it's here. Okay, check. Excellent. Okay. 15 points. Number 8. Give 15 points. Oops. And what happens? Team number 1 gave 15 points to team number 2. And they are playing and they are learning. Can you find a pencil sharpener? Yes. Okay. Or maybe they are very distracted. Can you find a bottle? 5, 4, 3, and they didn't do it. Oops, sorry, right? This is Ambuso, and you have a lot of things, not only for object hand, but more opportunities to find games. You say which is the language that you want to play. Obviously, it's going to be English. You say if it is popular, new, A to Z, and when you want to play it, right? And what's the name? Maybe I am teaching family members. Family members. So go for family members, and you have them here, right? You can play any game you want with family members. Let's see this one. Family members, play. Classic, go for it. Wheel is Brad's father. Okay, got it. You see, and they are learning. They are playing and they are learning. This is Bambuso. This is a pretty good app website for gamification in your classes, in your lessons, right? Okay, now that we are activating, let me tell you that attention span affects learning. Yes, it does. That this is different it is different on learning than in face-to-face. Yes, it's different as well. And we need to make more dynamics, more strategies. We need to implement more strategies on it, right? But there are also more ways to do it. There are also more things to do with just a click. You can start gaming. And if you don't have this opportunity to use a tool, to use a digital tool, you can do it in different ways, just through the camera, right? Just in the same way that you are doing, hey, bring me something, bring me this, bring me that, and ask them to go and bring it to you, right? Just with flashcards, ask them to draw them in paper, and ask them to be the teachers. So now, Fulanito, you're gonna be the teacher, show the flashcard, and ask your classmates to go and get it, right? And they are getting and they are playing as well. Make your online teaching memorable. This is pretty important, that they always think, and they always know and be very focused on what they are learning with you, and they never forget what they are learning with you. Incorporate reflection breaks. At any age, you can incorporate reflection breaks. Stop, give it a break, and think about what we are learning, what we are doing, and this is a time for reflection, guys. And use strategies. Use a Jamboard to reflect. Use Menti to reflect. Use a Linoy to reflect. Everything you can use it, right? So this is a Padlet activity now. It says, what do I need to work on is, now we have seen about knowing your equipment, not distracting areas, know your device, gamification, etc., having eye contact, use body language. But I want you to think, this is a reflection break, right? I want you to think what you need to work into make your lessons more effective. And this is a Padlet activity. This is another tool that I'm going to show you. You're going to find several questions. Maybe I say this too late, but don't answer, only answer the first one. The other ones you're going to answer them, but at the end, right? What is Padlet? Padlet is also a class board. It's also a mural that you can work. This is Padlet, the one that you see. If I click on Make Padlet, I can have a lot of opportunities to create a board in my class. A wall board, a stream, a grid, a shop, a map, one with canvas, with any graphic, one with timeline. And if I pay for an account, I can have more opportunities. But as I told you always, what you have, what you get is enough for your lesson, right? And we as teachers, we know how much we need, right? So let's go back and check this reflection time. Here in the Prony, what you need to do is you enter, you click on pass, and you answer to me the first question, right? What do you think you need to work in to make your lessons more effective? So enter here. I'm watching that you are entering to Padlet. I want you to know Padlet. Padlet is a pretty good. Padlet is an opportunity. You can share here videos. You can share content. You can record yourself through here, and you can enter here to start reflecting about it. Try to think about now the first question. If you are answering the rest of them, don't worry. This is part of the end of the session. We're going to discuss the end of all of them. But right now, what I want you to think is about what do you think you need to work in to make your lessons more effective. And if you see here, I share with you all the links that I share throughout the whole workshop. Here you have them in this image, so don't worry if you didn't get them. You're going to get them there. So I need to be more interactive and anonymous, learn every day, change my devices and equipment, have more gamification and attention spheres. Excellent, great. Motivation and interaction, use more different tools to make them more interactive. Find a way to connect with the students online, more dynamic activities, make them move. Now I know how. Excellent. That is what you need. You just need to see what the rest of the world is doing with their lessons, so you can do them, right? You can make them move. You can make them be more interactive. You can make your lessons more interactive. How important. Really think about it. How important is to make your lessons more interactive. Our Prony students, you know them, right? Our students, how they are, how they need to move, how they need to do different things. This is the time we need to give them to do different kind of activities, kind of strategies, foster different skills, and excellent. Use Padlet. Trust me, Padlet is a unique tool. That's why I left it at the end, so you can just learn how to use it. Padlet is pretty recommended tool to use in online lessons. How? I'm just going to show you really quick. As I told you, you say make a Padlet. Here, I can say this. I'm going to select the word Padlet, right? And once I select my Padlet, I name it. I set the name here. It's going to be, this is going to be for third graders, right? So if I click on here on settings, I'm going to change the name. Third grade Padlet, right? If you want to write a description, if you want to add an image, so all the characteristics of your Padlet, you're going to select them from here, and you're going to set them for your lesson, right? So once you finish, you save it, and you start working on it. What do you want to share? Do you want to share Picture, photo, okay? Let's share a photo. I cannot use the camera, sorry, because I'm using it for the session, but okay. You can set a picture, you can share a link, an image, a file, something that you wanted to do. This is an excellent tool for flipped classroom. Remember flipped classroom, that we need them to foster in advance before the session, the skills or the strategies that we need them to work on. So when I get to the class, they can have something already done so we can work on it. So this is a very good strategy to work on it. Work it for flipped classroom, or even work it during the session, or work it as you want. Record yourself if you want. If I click on the three dots, I can have more options. Audio recorder. Okay, the homework is going to be in Padlet. You know the link, just get to Padlet and I'm gonna record the Padlet. The homework is gonna be in English. So listen to it and do it. Pretty easy. Make 5 sentences using adjectives or whatever you want. Whichever the social practice is, you can use it, right? Camera, image search, Spotify, Gap, web search, YouTube, whatever you want to share with your students. So Padlet, I really recommend Padlet. As you see, I love Padlet. The most that I love, Linoid is pretty good. Jamboard, I really love Jamboard. Padlet is a pretty unique tool as well, right? So let's move forward because time is already finishing. So this is the Padlet. This is the tool that I wanted to show you. According to the social practice that you want to develop, remember that there are different social practices, right? For example, if you have the social practice, there is a social practice. I remember, if my mind doesn't play tricks on me, I remember that there was a social practice for third graders, fourth graders. There was like formulate and answer questions about a specific topic, right? Use Padlet for it. Use the pros and cons for it. What about if I want to talk about superheroes? Formulate and ask questions for superheroes. Use Jamboard for superheroes. Or what are the pros and cons to be a superhero? There are a lot, a world of opportunities to use the technology for during an online session, right? It is, trust me, there is a world of opportunities. Now, let's talk about the QR code. How this is important, what are the benefits of using QR codes, and why can we use the QR codes? Okay, the benefits. Number one, a QR code provides students with easy access to links during a lesson. If I want to share any link, any content, any video, anything that I want to share, I can share it by a QR code, right? So I don't need to share the whole document to the parents through WhatsApp, through mail, no. I can share only the link and they're going to have access to it, okay? This is an opportunity for not using the space on our devices, right? And to go through the QR code to the place where you have to look for it. A QR code on a quiz worksheet also makes it easier to find the answers. Or a video QR code on a worksheet enables instant access to learning videos. Now, tell me, in the chat, write down, how would you use the QR code for? Tell me, what would you do? How would you use the QR code? This is something that we need to start working on, the QR code. If you haven't, start working on it. And I'm going to show you a pretty good tool. Flow Code is the name. And let me see, I have it around here. Have it, but okay. Flowcode.com. Whenever you want to share something by QR code, just enter to this. I'm going to share this with you. You create a code. Once you create a code, you say, what do you want? You want to share a link. You want to share a document. You want to share a YouTube video for content. Remember that you can video record yourself. You can upload your video to YouTube. In the British Council, we give courses where we go deeper into all these tools, into all these practices of using technology. So if you want to know more, get close to the British Council, to your authorities, and ask for it. You can have a whole complete course about everything that you wanna develop. Not only using technology, but using a lot of other professional practices that you need to foster. Okay, Facebook, any other app that you wanna share, you just click on it. You just enter the website if it is a link, and create it, and that's it, right? Create my flow code, and you have it. You just copy it and you paste it on your slide. You paste it on your page. You paste it on the Padlet. You paste it on every single opportunity of app that you can share it with. You can do it, right? Okay. Here I'm sharing with you, as you see, the remote teaching guidelines. This is what I'm sharing with you. What is the remote teaching guidelines? Just how can you read the QR code? Google, please, QR code readers, download the app. I know you have done it because in the other workshop I saw that you were also working with QRs. So download it, read it, and download the document. The remote teaching guidelines is a guide that is going to help you to understand what you need to have in order to give a proper online lesson. So download it, use it, work on it. This is something that we give you to use it and to foster and to improve your online lessons, okay? And now we are just about to finish. Wow, okay. So those are the digital tools that I have shared with you. And there's someone missing. I'm just going to enter to that one. Just wrap it a little bit, right? I didn't say anything about Kahoot. Let me tell you why. And let me put it in a first plane. I didn't say anything about Kahoot because Kahoot is an app that is very well known by all teachers. So that's why I didn't want to go deeper on it. But if you haven't, Kahoot is another excellent tool, and I really like Kahoot. Whatever or whichever you need to evaluate on your students, you're going to find it in Kahoot, or you're going to create your own games to evaluate your students, right? Remember that you can also evaluate them through Google Forms, Microsoft Forms. Both of them are excellent tools to make tests online and grade them online. Live worksheets is a pretty good tool to evaluate your students. I want to show you right now a live worksheets. Well, we have seen Mentimeter, Bookclub, Linoid, Bambuso, Well-Decide, Screencastify, which is not here, and Padlet, which is not here also. But just to wrap up, those are the digital tools that we have learned, that we have discussed, that we have find out how to use the strategies and how to foster the strategies and the skills in my students, right? So try them. Remember the characteristics to be a good remote teacher. Be brave. Use technology. So if you cannot use them right now, if you have problems with a low context group or whatever, there's going to be an opportunity for you to use it in one way or in another. So just go for it, look for it, be creative, and get it, right? The live workshop is the one that I want to show you because it's a very, very, very nice way to assess your students as well. If you enter to live workshops, I have it here. Sorry, I'm just looking for it. I remember that I had it. Here it is. Yes. live worksheets. What you just need is only enter to the link that you have that I gave you, or I share with you through Padlet, or just Google live worksheets, right? What you are going to find here? You're going to find any kind of worksheets you want to evaluate something, or any cognitive process, or any information that you have given to your students. So evaluate any activity, right? You can evaluate numbers, adjectives, verbs, whatever you want to find. You can find them here. This is a whole community teachers that just share their worksheets to evaluate your students. And it is pretty easy to use, right? You can even select your own, create your own. If you click on here, crear fichas interactivas, and if you click on empezar, you're gonna have the next step. You have to upload your document. Maybe you have already your test, okay? In one column you have the numbers, in another column you have the names of the numbers, okay? Upload it, and you're gonna be able to work with them. You're gonna be able to select if it is drag and drop, or if it is matching activity, or if it is filling the blanks, or if you're gonna have all those activities, all those opportunities to work in live worksheets. As I told you, unfortunately, for the time that we have, we cannot go deeper on it. But as I told you, there are pretty good courses from the British Council that you can get more information about it, right, and how to use them. So just let's as I told you, just say that I wanna find a worksheet about numbers. Okay, we have all these opportunities, right? And you have here also the audio, as you see. And let's go for one of, let's see if I have, no, I don't see any of this one. Let's choose anyone, right, this one, okay? Match number. Maybe you want to use this one. You send a link to your students, they answer this, for example, they say one is one, 2, 3, and I have 4, and so on. I'm not gonna answer all of them right now, but maybe I have all of them and I answer all of them. Finished. What do you want to do? Test or share your answers to your teacher, or check them. Okay, let's check them. 4 out of 10. Now you're gonna have the answer. Okay, kids, you're gonna take a picture of it and you're gonna send it to me. If you have the Pro account, you can have the access directly to their answers, right? But this is not a Pro account, but you can have just like the picture of the answer, and you're gonna get the how they did on it, right? Maybe it's not numbers. Maybe it's about any social practice that you want. How to formulate questions about a specific topic, or anything, any social practice that you want, right? That you need to work on. Create it, do it, try it, set it, upload it, use it. What happens with the technology is that it is there. But if you don't do anything with it, it's not going to work for you. What you have to do is try it. Give it a try, do it, practice it. It's not going to happen anything bad with it. It's going to happen everything's going to be good with it, right? Everything is going to be a possibility for you to make your lessons more interactive, more joyful, more interesting for your students as well. And let's have this final reflection through Padlet. I want you to think about this and put it in the chat. What are you now? Has your view of remote teaching changed? And how? Where are you going? What is your goal? What are you going to incorporate or change about the way you teach? Think about it. This is a reflection for yourself. It is on Padlet. I know that you were already given some responses because I saw them. So let me go to Padlet and see what you answer. A lot. I know how to use more things. Thank you. Esther Sanchez. Hi, Esther. Yes, it has changed because we can now recreate online classes using different tools. Thank you, Esther. Yes, I know techno things that I didn't imagine. Online teacher has brought a lot of new resources. Wow. You see how amazing it is that you are giving yourself the opportunity to be here, to learn here. Thank you so much. So, next one is, what is your goal? What are you going to incorporate or change about the way you teach? You're going to become a better teacher. Again, I will incorporate more technological tools in the morning schools. More activation times, excellent. Using different games. Try to make my students realize that they are really learning. This is pretty important. Anonymous, you didn't put your name, it's okay. But this is pretty important. Make your students aware of their learning. Always. Don't close your session. Don't end up your session. That's why I show you the game with the fingers. Because to me, whenever I give an English lesson, whenever I give any lesson or any conference just like this one, at the end I have to ask, what did you learn today? How are you going to use it for? Those are metacognitive strategies that you need to do, that you need to develop, okay? Do it with your students, even if they are kindergarten or if they are elementary students. You can work this with them. This kind of activities is possible to work them with them, and it is more than possible, necessary. Which of the digital tools did you like or find most useful? Padlet was pretty useful. Bamboozle, Padlet, Bamboozle, Menti. Excellent. Nearport project, Mentimeter, those are pretty good ones as well. Jumbo, excellent. Share some you learned today. Digital tools, new tools, work along with my students remotely. I need to train the parents, give more orientation. Yeah, totally agree with you. Thank you for sharing what you learned today. Thank you for sharing what you learned in this session. Thank you for giving me the time to be here with you and sharing this whole world of opportunities using technology with you. I really appreciate your time. And remember, I am a prony teacher as well. And so I know your feelings. I know what you are doing. And I really appreciate all the effort that you do. You do magic, honestly. Congratulations to each one of you. Prony is the top. Okay, share what you learned today in Padlet. We already did this one. And to end, I'm gonna share what I told you, the mocks that we have, massive open online courses that you don't have to pay anything for them. So let me go here in the first plane, and we're going to have two mock. The one is going to be remote teaching. The second one is going to be climate connections. I'm going to be there, but try to be there as well. If you want to join us, please join us. There's a lot of information. It's going to be useful for you, different information than the one that you see today. And this is the link. This is the SurveyMonkey. Give us your contact details in this SurveyMonkey. Send us your information and register there, right? You have the QR code as well there. And I hope to see you there. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for joining us today. And to end this webinar, amazing webinar with you, I'm going to tell you something from my own words. Teaching online becomes effective when tech becomes invisible. It is there, but students don't notice it. So when you get to this point that you don't feel that you are learning through technology, you just learning, this is when teaching online is going to succeed. but give it a try. This is pretty important. And if you want to find me in another place, go to LinkedIn, Ana GTZ Orozco. I'm going to be there for you. Thank you. Remember, I'm also a training teacher. Thank you for being here. That's all for me today. Thank you so much.
Ana, muchísimas gracias por tu participación y también por tu experiencia en compartir a nuestros asesores y docentes. Y también agradezco al Consejo Británico el apoyo para seguir colaborando igual con el Programa Nacional de Inglés. Muchísimas gracias, que estés muy bien.
Un placer para mí estar aquí. Muchísimas gracias por la invitación.
No, a ti, Ana, gracias.
Gracias.
Bueno, estimadas y estimados participantes, con esta ponencia de la licenciada Ana Gutiérrez del Consejo Británico estaríamos finalizando la sesión del día de hoy, esperando su participación para continuar el día de mañana, que ya sería nuestro cuarto día de trabajo. Pero si antes, por favor, Juan Carlos les va a comentar alguna información antes de irnos.
Hola, ¿cómo están? Muy buenas tardes. Muchas gracias a todas y a todos por esta participación y solo quería comentarles que la liga ya está activa para que ustedes puedan ahora sí hacer su registro si es que no lo han hecho. Aquí la pueden ver en este banner y los esperamos y las esperamos mañana para la siguiente reunión. Muchas gracias. Hasta luego.
Gracias, hasta mañana.